good job in the hands of a player like Tyrant previously. So let's see how well it'll perform in this one, because this is an elimination match. Both teams fighting for their lives. Game 1, let's enter the Land of Dawn.
First ever lower bracket match up. Who will go home crying off, or who will actually be surviving for that longer journey here for the SPS Challenge season? You talked about how you are more favorable on the side of EVOS Esports. They haven't locked it down on how they want to actually portray in the game fight or even on the game plan itself. Lazy Esports, potentially very risky, but let's see if they can pull through. So far, I do see Dur just a little bit far off. Too much of the ambitious try to survive it out. Had a lot of damage already by the side of Veldora, but here on out, we do see they want to actually hold off on the mid lane as well. Now, they have a potential. They want to wait off for the Turtle and James Pong. Looking from the side of Veldora, gonna actually try to get S buff and they need it, try to actually farm it up, but Dur comes in and this is where they finally want to actually stun out Veldora. Almost getting gold, the kill that they wanted. They actually go in for the double gang up, but at the same time Tony tried to back things up, doesn't able to do so. So at least with the investment they done, a lot of resources been put out. Lazy did manage to get one kill.
So I am noticing this is a Badang Arome on the side of EVOS Esports, so they will probably be going into the Thunderbelt build, and unfortunately, going for a Badang Arome is a little bit risky because you're not going to be able to match up to the movement speed of a Khalid Roam. That's why Lazy Esports was able to get up into the EXP lane to gank Veldora a lot sooner than Tawny was able to respawn, and that's actually a very important gank for Lazy as well. Up until now, Veldora had been winning lane priority against Dur, and they needed to make sure to affect that lane somehow so that the EDIF could come join the turtle fight and maybe hit level 4 a bit more smoothly. But because they were successful with that one, it looks like James Punks will be able to get the turtle quite easily. Or Lazy.
Not even able to actually steal it. Tony tried to actually sneakily try to actually have a lot of push out to the side of Hotbed. They even tried to actually go in for the RWM, immobilizing Shizo. Shizo had to back away. Tony tried to actually continue on, tried to actually had that connection, but doesn't manage to do so. Only managed to try to actually steal away the buff, but denied immediately by Lazy.
Shizo also had to use the flicker there just to make sure that Annabelle didn't suddenly turn around and get a free kill on him early.
But they're going in all out to Cloakwood. Will be the 1 second kill right here at the same time. Right at this instant, Annabelle had to pull away. Tony, a little bit overextension, managed to flicker, move off from the side of Lazy, and at the same time, Lazy has already done so much damage, they don't need to go for the extension.
So far, I am definitely liking what Pakbet is doing with this Khalid Roam. You can see even making sure that Nikki cannot safely recall back home and keeping him in place for the rest of the team to come in. Flicker Raging Sandstorm.
Oh my god, but no, the overextension being done. Annabelle will be able to get the double kill. Oh, needed for the trade-off by the side of EVOS Esports. Crazy stuffer.
That was a good attempt by Lazy. Like I mentioned, Pakvet keeping Nikki in lane long enough for the rest of his team to show up and finish off the Irritel, but then overstaying their welcome behind the tower and not really having tools to be able to escape from a high mobility assassin. Annabelle comes in and gets 2 kills for himself. That is actually a really bad gold injection for Lazy Esports. You never want to give the Joy the lead like this, especially when you're playing on an alpha yourself. So that is something that EVOS can play around going forward.
And we are seeing how Team EVOS did manage to actually turn things around. Annabelle made it that double kill. That's what they needed coming in from EVOS Esports. But now they're going to actually try to contest that turtle for the second one. You see, Lazy was able to get away very quickly, but EVOS is not going to allow it for the second time. Tony right in the bushes. Dur will be able to spot it out, but they clear it out. But actually hold it ground for Dur. But Dur managed to move away. RWM been thrown out to shut down Parbet, as well as Veldora tried to go on a one-on-one, but doesn't manage to pull through. But at the same time, Parbet having some composure right here will deny EVOS to take him down.
Very well played by Lazy there, actually keeping themselves composed, like you pointed out. Pakbet being able to tank a lot of damage with that quick sand guard. The Raging Sandstorm actually initially missed. It didn't really contribute too much to things. But now even the orange buff gonna be invaded right now. Looks like Annabelle still able to secure it, not even having to use the retribution. Lazy rotating over to the bot lane.
Oh, Popbet almost close enough to actually get the hit that he's needed, but it's not gonna be easy. Has a really good composure, but now we're back into the game itself. Still numbers coming in from T22. Economy-wise, Lazy Spot is still in the lead with 1,000 plus points going into their side. Now, EVOS, they will try to actually get a hold of composure, get the buff they needed, farms it out, and it seems that we do see Hotpet is being left off to roam around freely, and this is giving a lot of information that is needed for Lazy Esports.
And it's exactly what a roam Khalid should be doing, taking advantage of his mobility and sustainability to keep an eye on how the map is rotating so that his team can make the most use out of that information. The first item is going to be completed on most of the cores at this point. Both teams going to be slowing things down just slightly. So far, still not really seeing the value of this Badang roam. I hope we get to see a bit more of it later on, but a big rotation from both teams to the bottom lane. They're eyeing this tier 1 down here.
They are trying to actually figure out, can they actually find an opening? Tony is gonna deny it. Popbet just finds a way to actually just to at least bait out EVOS Esports. Clears out the minions, but will be denied immediately, and Lazy Spot just a push and pull right here, just try to actually bait out, but Lazy Spot is also a little bit hesitant. So the third turtle is coming up here, and they're gonna actually try to get it for themselves. Now Veldora is in the scene. We'll get the info they needed for Team EVOS. Hotbet is just roaming around. Let's see who's going to actually go in for the opening. RWM has already been opened. Dirt also shutting down, but had to be flickered away, had to move away immediately. But Tony will be the first one to be the victim of EVOS Esports.
Very quick movements here from Lazy Esports, and the Badang once again being targeted. It really isn't as bulky as most other roamers are nowadays, so trying to walk forward to set things up is very risky for him when you have so much siege potential coming out of Lazy, and he just gets deleted in a single second after the Edith combo, keeping him in place. But we have to note that there are going to be some pretty notable key players on both sides for this game. Shizo so far has not been disrupted, 2 assists on the Granger, no death, should be farming very cleanly. And Annabelle is still riding off of the momentum of the 2 kills that he was able to secure earlier on in the game. The late game will actually come down to the duel between these 2 players in particular.
And there you go, they're going in all out to Popbet, but Popbet managed to move away. Great, all the investment being put out by Popbet is just a wasteful coming in from EVOS, and this is where the fine line, they will try to actually punish it. Shizo coming in, and it seems that Tony also pushed out, but at the same time, James Bond comes through. RWM will be able to shut down Shizo, getting the kill. James Bond also takes down Veldora. Double kill coming in, and now one more player to go to be taken out as we airborne straight away. Annabelle had to pull away before becoming a casualty, but 3 kills in the hands of Lazy Esports. That's a really big win.
That was very well calculated by Lazy Esports. It went exactly how they hoped that it would. The RWM came out at the perfect time to force EVOS backwards, and then James Punks was just waiting in the backline to get a multi-target spear of Alpha. For a moment, I thought that he was going to die to the tower, but turns out he actually had an early winter crown and was able to pop it just in time to divert the tower's aggro. I'm very surprised that he went for that as early as he did, considering that his team does have good enough frontline that he shouldn't have to rely on it, but it ends up being very worth it in that particular situation as it instantly doubles Lazy Esports' goal lead up to around 5k. We're 9 minutes in, First Lord has just spawned, and EVOS doesn't really have much of a foot to stand on here. I think they're gonna have to play this safer and slower to get the items they need.
RWM been put out, Lord has already been taken out, but here on out, they try to push in straight away to Nikki. At the same time, Tony, right in the scene. It seems that Popbet does not allow him to pull away, but unfortunately, they've already done enough. They don't need to worry much. Overextension is unnecessary, so now they're just gonna go in with a win. But Popbet is looking for more. Trying to go in for a fight with Cloaken. Does manage to get a lot of damage to put out. James Bond is also overlooking, trying to find a way if they can actually get another win on their side.
And the mid-game snowball is now starting to get worse and worse in favor of Lazy Esports, to the chagrin of EVOS. Annabelle being sent up to the top lane should actually get a free tier 2 there, but Lazy doesn't seem to mind it. They're going to be able to get 2 tier 2s instead in the bot and mid lane. And will escort the Lord down mid, see if they can get an inhibitor here. Holy defense going to be expended.
See, Flokun almost close enough been taken off that easily. And it seems that they didn't manage to actually maneuver the occasion of the Lord marching into the mid. But here on out, RWM has already been invested. Just a little bit more turret will be taken out. But at the same time, Popbet pushing in. And it seems that Annabelle will be able to take down Shizo. Feldora takes down Kopskut. But Lazy Esport, they got what they needed. And they had to pull away before it gives more leeway to the side of EVOS Esports.
But now Annabelle is actually going to start becoming our problem. That's even more gold injection into the Joy. Lazy, I think, did end up getting a little bit lazy there. Got a bit overconfident that they could keep pushing into the base. Forgot that Annabelle was on the opposite side of the map and could come in from any angle. And they lost the entire back line. EVOS getting a bit more space now.
Oh, Annabelle almost close enough to take down Popbet, but they managed to pull away, getting the turret for the mid lane. That's going to give more control on the side of EVOS. So it's almost balanced right here for both sides of the team, especially the fact that it's more in the favor of Team Lazy Esport. Yet they still have the control-wise, economy-wise still high on themselves as well. Now, Lazy Esport, they have to be cautious. There's one slip they already been done. They don't want to mess up again.
Yeah, they cannot afford to mess up again. They still have a bit of a goal lead right now, but a Granger becomes more and more of an unstoppable mass the less and less he is targeted. So that was Shizo's first death of the game, actually, to his ultimate nemesis, the Joy. The rest of EVOS having a lot of difficulty catching up, but the Great Dragon Spear was just completed on Nikki not too long ago, so the Irritel can actually still do a respectable amount of DPS at this stage. And Lazy really needed to keep track of that gold lead that they had before. And they're trying to play a bit more aggro, taking control over the top riverside, since they know the Lord is going to be spawning up there, should be able to shut out the wave. And this is a pretty important objective for EVOS to contest. They only have 2 inhibitors left standing, and they're going to end up losing both of them if they're not able to stop Lazy from taking this Lord.
Let's see. They even try to actually gang up to Annabelle. They will literally try to shut down Annabelle first so that they can have more composure on their side. Here trying to tease off Lord first of all, and then Veldora is overlooking. He's finding a way to actually go out for the fight first, and it seems that so far they haven't actually tagged off anyone. Chizo doing some damage to Veldora as well, and it seems that they're going to go all out here. Dur will be able to pick off RWM. Have already clears out, at least shut it down. But Glukun managed to take down James Bond. But Popet in the scene right here. Dur did manage to take off Veldora. Popet was traded off, getting the double kill right here from Chizo, and now living on Annabelle. But Annabelle making a difference, clears out, and it is going to be a team effort right here by Team EVOS to take down the 4 players of Lazy Esports.
Yeah, I had a suspicion that Annabelle was going to start becoming a problem, and I think Lazy Esports really should have considered things a little bit more there. It's fine to engage on Tatani if you're able to remove him quickly, but you're doing it without considering the positioning of the rest of EVOS. Not only did you take a massive amount of burst damage from Klokun instantly, you had no idea where Annabelle actually was in the team fight, and because of that, it's difficult for Shizo and Chobskut to make sure that they are safely positioned so that they don't have to worry about it. Annabelle could just take his time, wait until the rest of his team had bought the space necessary for his cooldowns to come back up, and then re-enter when there was no longer any CC for Lazy to play around. I think Dur needed to stay a little bit closer in as the final survivor to at the very least offer a body for Shizo to hide behind, because now EVOS have the Lord. They should be able to do some good damage with this.
A lot of advantage coming in because of the Lord with the economy wise as well. Clears out the Lord, but a lot of damage. Almost half life of that turret has already been depleted, so they gotta be careful. Clears out all the waves first of all, but at the same time Team EVOS is on the lookout, and Lazy, they have to be cautious. Now looking scene, we do see that Klokun trying to find a breakaway right here, doing some damage as well, and Team Lazy Esport just trying to find a really good distance, just taking care of the gap, denying EVOS to come in or see any kind of loopholes.
Uh, Lazy Esports don't have to worry too much yet. A 2k difference at this stage is not too bad of an issue, and Shizo still scales very well into the late stages. But he has already died twice in quick succession, so even if he is at the top of the damage leaderboard, it doesn't really matter if he's not able to safely deal with Annabelle. His joy is 5-0, and while Lazy had been doing a good job of like taking fights quickly enough that he wouldn't become an issue earlier in the game, now that we've reached the late game, 15 minutes in, they generally have to keep track of his position at all times and make sure that electrifying beats is expended early. Otherwise, there is no way that Shizo can actually safely participate in the team fight.
Let's see if this is going to be the case for Team Lazy Esports. Seems that Annabelle, if they leave this off very, very easily to maneuver, for Annabelle to just have so much composure, so much power for his hands, it's not gonna be easy. So you talked about how Lazy Esports has to actually find a really good eyesight on Annabelle. If they actually allow it even more so, Annabelle can easily damage and punish them. Now, Lord is spawning. This is the second Lord already, and if EVOS can get away with this, they can actually do more damage to Lazy Esports. So Contest is coming in already. Annabelle doing some damage, waiting for the right time. Veldora is on the scene as well. Things can be backed up. Even Cloakun is also on the scene as well with Nikki. So it's all about timing right here. But Lord almost going to done. Can they actually get it? Annabelle will get the Lord itself for themselves. But at the same time, extension comes through from Potbet, doesn't get anything, and now they're pushing it straight to dirt. Getting the double kill is required, and now team of Lazy Esports holding off for dear life as second Lord is already in the hands. But Shizo did manage to get it straight right here, taking down Cloakun.
Well, taking down Cloakun will help a little bit, but I'm not sure how much. 20 seconds before the rest of Lazy Esports comes online, and the Lord is pushing up top lane. EVOS Esports took very good advantage of the mistake being made right there, because they kind of jumped the gun, tried to initiate the fight onto Veldora before Tovskirt or Shizo was ready to follow up on it, and then they got dismantled. Now Lazy will have to try and hold on.
Oh, coming in right here. They are pushing in. Lord's already marching, but they are not actually trying to go in straight to the crystal territory. They've done their job. They are taking it a little bit slow off. They don't want to push in too much. With a little bit of discipline coming in from EVOS Esports to actually have more composure, and they're allowing this more time for them to just ban out and have a really good formation to fight off with Lazy Esports.
Lazy cannot be the ones to start the fight. They need to force EVOS to waste cooldowns before they themselves engage. So bullied is the correct word. He's actually got items now that allow him to survive and apply the CC needed before going down. Lazy needs to take this step by step. They need to refocus their thoughts and identify who the main issues are going to be. It is perfectly fine to try and target Tawny or Veldora to take them out first, but you gotta make sure that the team is not close enough to follow up. Otherwise, you are the one spending resources before you're ready to fight.
And the fact that Annabelle is always there to actually clear it out or even connect the dawn at the end of it all. Even though they have to sacrifice Tony, Annabelle will clear things off, and that's where. And we do saw how, no matter how much they try to actually make sure that Cloakun shut down the opportunity of the deathly grabs, the eternal guard, it's still not enough, because Lazy Esports still is easily as possible can be picked out by Annabelle, and this is where the fine line that Lazy Esports are having a little bit of difficulty. But going back into the game here, we do see there's a lot of the efforts right here being imported or being invested by Lazy Esports to clear off all the waves, and it's giving a lot of the freedom for EVOS to farm things out for themselves.
I mean, Lazy has to reclaim space on the map like slowly by themselves. They can't afford to push up when they're not able to really secure vision. So they will probably be able to get out onto the river in time for the Lord to spawn, but Evo still has more map priority in general. Lazy has to slowly clear corners, basically act as a tactical squad entering dangerous territory, using that Death Sonata to scout out brushes. And they cannot jump the gun. They cannot be the ones to start the fight. They gotta try and bait EVOS into doing it somehow.
If they want to, and there you go, we're coming in for a fight already as James Bond. RWM will be denied immediately as NFL takes down the first blood. Dirt takes down Nikki as well, but Parbet is in the scene and James Bond trying to go in for a fight with Clokun, but can he get it done? He did manage to take down Clokun, but Veldora comes in for the trade, and this is where the final Veldora gets the double kill to Parbet as well. Tony will be pushing into Dirt all alone by himself. He will be gang up. He tried to survive, but it's nowhere to be able to survive and escape as Team EVOS shuts down lazyesports for the team wipeout, and this is the key for their victory. If they can clear this out already, they can be able to shut it out. And we do see a marching of wave coming in at the top. If there's a possibility the march comes in and not in time for even Cholsko to survive it out, EVOS can just clear this and shut down this first round of match number 3. And it seems that you don't even need a march. They're already pushing in right at the mid lane. Crystal Rindan, Cold Squid, nothing could be done. The first win goes to EVOS Esports.